Welcome to this video on the Zenwara channel. My name is Sri Satguru Buddha Roa Bhagwan. So many races, many peoples, remembering we're all one in the end. Many people have different type of street technologies. We live in the streets. We grid the streets. We grid our planets with streets. We give the streets names and associations. We move on these streets. We carry packages and information on these streets. Life happens on these streets, and these streets connect to other places as all things in the microcosm and macrocosm are connected. And this is one of the understandings of Taoism. So Taoism is a form of Chinese practice and understanding and belief. And there are masters of Taoism, as there are masters of different paths in different cultures and traditions and religions. What's ironic is that the Taoist path is not necessarily the most powerful of all the Chinese paths, as there are different Chinese paths. They're not strictly as powerful, for example, as the path of other lineages and different things. But it is a complete path. The reason it is not as powerful in some ways as some other iterations is because it is a path and lineage that is stuck in the past. So it has difficulty adjusting to the changes of the present. However, it is immovable from the past and the present. So it is an important understanding. There are different types of Taoist magic, and Taoist magic can be used in the streets as well. So when you go to a place and you see, for example, a Chinese lantern at the door of that building, well, it could just be that it's a random Chinese lantern that someone liked, but more likely it's an iteration of Taoist magic. And there are lanterns like this in other cultures, such as the Japanese culture, but lantern magic is also a part of Chinese culture. So what you can do, for example, in Taoist magic is you can put a little lantern on each side of your door. And what that does is, in a system view, it creates a huge circular lantern apparatus which imposes itself on the street in front of the building. These are like street mining technologies of voodoo, where they mine the streets from the buildings on the side of them. Well, Taoist also has its street magic like that. So these lanterns basically balloon on the street in front of the building where they are. And what they do is they basically influence the processes of that street and the things it's connected to at a microscopic and macroscopic level. There's also other street technologies like Viking street technology and these different types of different street technologies that exist in different cultures. Right? For example, do you have a corner that's busy and that there's a lot of people coming to your corner? Are you going to use some kind of technology to make your place busy? Your business, for example, at a corner? Or are you going to do more nefarious things with your business and your building? Right? So everybody is using a type of technology, and this is happening in all cultures. It's called gridding the street. Okay, so when you have a business on the side of a place, if you want your business to do well and to survive, You would usually use certain types of technologies to grid the street to attract people to your place and to mark your presence on that street and the activity of that street, the energy of that street, and a permanent presence on that street. And you want to draw the energy from that street into your business. That's one purpose that some people do these things in gridding the street in front of their business or house or something. Another one is to control the street, control the processes of the street. So Taoist magic can be done like that with the lanterns, where you control the street with those lanterns. So those balloons can be given a purpose. And one of those purposes can be to control the processes that move on that street, right? And that can be by bringing them into your story and basically changing them, and then they move, and controlling that corner. So you'll often see this in a corner that's very important in many cultures. You know, you'll see, for example, some people who have gotten some businesses and who are mining the street, right, or ballooning the street, or putting a kind of magical street technology on the street in front of their building to do certain things, to protect the building, to draw in the energy, to mark a presence there. All types of different things can be done. So these are balloon technologies. Thank you for listening to this video on the Zen Warrior channel.